I excused myself to go to the washroom. Upon entering the ladies' room, I heard something crash so hard that I nearly fainted from fear. I heard someone yell, and my mind went straight to Adrian. Without thinking twice, I rushed to the men's washroom, and there he stood, sweating profusely and his eyes bloodshot red with tears on his cheeks. With no care about how the sink has been shattered into pieces, I turned to him. "Sir, are you all right?" I asked, and he turned to me sharply. "Are you all right?"
No. Don't come any closer. Stay away from me, Nicole. Please.
He cried out, and I halted. "What about the strange scars on your neck?" I asked, upon seeing the scars on his neck. They were shaped like the edge of a shovel. I stepped closer to take a look at him, but then when he stepped another foot backwards, he stopped and yelled at me to stay away from him, making me jolt with fear at the sound of his voice. It was loud like the struck of thunder. He stomped past me, and I breathed heavily as I placed my right hand on my chest, trying to breathe. What was that for? I was only worried, but then why did his voice sound so thunderous, like it contained some kind of power in it? I walked out of the washroom and back to the table. He was gone, and so was Jeffrey. What could be going on?
"Hey, you're back,"
Kim said as I sat down. I couldn't even enjoy the meal. I had lost my appetite. I don't know why, but then my whole mood changed totally, and I couldn't stop thinking about the scar on his neck. I've never seen something like that before in my entire life. It kind of looked like a layer of skin hanging to his flesh with a cut beneath. Could he be some kind of freak or something? Could it be the reason why he always wears suits and hardly wear round neck shirts? What are you saying? Nicole, he does, for crying out loud. You saw him in a round-necked shirt and he looked totally gorgeous. But why didn't I see that scar back then? Could he have wounded himself with the shattered sink? But all the way to his neck? I sat down thoughtfully on my bed, wondering what was going on. I know I've known him for less than a week, but something really seemed to be off somewhere.
What's got you chewing on your thumbnail this time around?
It was Chloe. She walked to my window and opened the curtains, and behold, the amazing view of the stars was right before us. I chew on my thumbnail whenever I'm thinking really hard on something or can't figure something out. Nothing that alarming, though, but I can't stop myself from wondering about it, I replied, supporting my chin with my hard, skeletal knee bone.
Did you get into a fight with a weirdo?
Nope.
Did a guy propose to you?
Nope, but I caught a dude staring at me like crazy. It was like his eyes were gulping me up. I said, cleaning my hair with a towel.
Whoa, who was that?
Jeffrey, Adrian's best friend.
What? You got Hot Carter staring at you?
Is that something good?
Of course not, but yes, it is alarming, you know. Rumor has it that he's a playboy and sometimes jerk off to Zoe's bikini photos. Which I totally doubt, because he's been seen with Zoe a couple of times lately, and they've both confirmed they are just friends, and nothing else, but people say they are having some bad, sassy, hot romance between them.
Where do you get all these from?
It's on the internet. I don't blame you for not knowing, since you barely touched your phone and don't even have a Facebook account. You're so...
old-fashioned. I ended her sentence, and she grinned and said, "Thank you. It's good, you know. I'll definitely open a Facebook account when I want to, and beside, I'm less interested in those gossips on the internet," I said, laying on my back and staring at the stars from my window.
You'll get interested when you make the headlines.
Chloe replied, lying next to me with my palms supporting my head. "Hair, the night sky is so beautiful." I sighed, and Chloe smiled.
Mom, Dad, we love you.
Chloe said, blowing a kiss into the sky. She ended up sleeping with me in my room, but I couldn't even bring myself to sleep. The sight of his scar just kept popping in my head. I closed my eyes and turned towards the door as I stared into the distance. I suddenly found myself on a very tall hill, and below me was the sea. The sun was up, and the breeze was so cool. I looked around, but all I could see was the endless sea before me, and behind me was the amazing landscape. I turned towards the sea and looked below. I saw a very sparkly, golden-colored bird flying up to me. I stepped back as the bird flew high above me and dives back to me, flapping its wings. I don't know if I'm going nuts, but I think the bird smiled at me.
"It's nice to finally meet you, Nicole,"
it said as it transformed into a man with golden hair. He wore a wine, black and golden robe as he descended and stood before me on the hill. For some reason, I wasn't scared or terrified, but then I smiled and bowed and went down on my knees.
It's time, dear.
Time for what? Time for what?
Are you sure you want to do this, Nicole?
I am very certain, and I have made up my mind to be their sacrifice. Sacrifice? What are you talking about, Nicole? The Birdman nodded, and his expression became totally filled with sadness as I walked to the edge of the cliff. I looked below, and a spear was floating below me. A blue spear with its sharp-pointed tip pointed towards me. I turned around. What am I doing? It's like I had no control over my body. I was acting in a funny way.
No, Nicole!
It was Adrian. Adrian.
Please, Nicole, don't!
He screamed, running towards me. His hair was falling on his shoulders, and he looked totally different. He came running towards me, but then I turned around and fell down the hill, headed straight for the sharp, pointy spear. My hair turned white, and so did my clothes. Before I knew it, I felt it pierce through my skin, and Adrian was crying out my name. Nicole! Nicole, wake up! I heard a familiar voice call me from afar.
You're going to be late for work, sleepyhead.
Then a slap landed on my thigh. Work? Work? I opened my eyes and jumped off my bed and touched my belly. It was fine. No sharp, pointing thingy was piercing through my belly. It was a dream. Hallelujah! I screamed with excitement.
What's wrong with you?
Chloe said, stepping back. I'm alive, Chloe. I'm alive, I said, hugging her. I got ready for work. I barely drank the tea for breakfast because I was nearly late for work. I picked up my cardigan on the hanger and dashed out onto the street and off to work. I rushed to my office only to be welcomed by Mr. Kim.
Good morning, Ms. Mathews. I have some news for you.
Good morning, Mr. Kim.
Mr. Cortez won't be coming to work today.
Why?
He didn't make clear of his reason, but then he said you should make sure to get everything ready for tomorrow's meeting. Make all the necessary phone calls and cancel all his meetings today and reschedule them as well. That's all I've got for you. Have a good day.
He replied with his phone at his ear as he played with the flowers before walking to his office. Could his wound have gotten worse? Is that why he isn't at work today? Is he all right? Why on earth am I worried?